What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. And with this video, we are going to be jumping into the brand new issue of Shazam, issue number 2. Now, if you didn't catch issue number 1, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything that's been going on in this line. Now, this is written by Tim Sheridan. The pencils are Clayton Henry. Inks are the same, and with this story coming out of Teen Titans Academy, we see Billy really struggling to have his connection with Shazam active. And after learning that the Rock of Eternity has been misplaced, it is currently in an unknown location, Billy goes in search for it. And he gets the help of one of the newest members of the Teen Titan Academy, that being Dane. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 2, we are picking up in the underworld because Dane somehow created a portal much like Raven would. And in creating this portal, it was able to bring them to the underworld. And what we're learning here is Dane's powers are kind of like Raven's. Though there is no one like Raven, there is no one really even comparable to Raven, some of his power does resemble hers. And he's been working with Raven to kind of hone his abilities. With their powers being very similar, it gives him the opportunity to learn from someone that's truly mastered a lot of these abilities. But as they begin to look around, they realize that they are in what essentially is a Las Vegas hell. And not knowing really where to start, they go into the first casino they find. Now, Billy really knows how this place is. This is Dane's first trip here. He's been meaning to come here, but he hasn't yet. Billy knows exactly what this place is like, so he wants to find the Rock of Eternity, and he wants to be able to get out of here as fast as possible. He doesn't want to have to run into any trouble or any kind of drama while he's down here. And so Dane magically changing their clothes to something more appropriate, something more suited for this kind of event. And what we see is Billy make his way to the bar as Dane gets distracted and ends up playing some craps. Billy is trying to get any kind of information he can, and going up to the bartender, he tries to get a little bit of information, but the bartender seems to be keeping his lips tight. And when Billy starts to think that this might be a dead end, this is when he is greeted by a demon by the name of Amorina. And she overhears exactly what Billy is looking for, saying that if he is looking for anything in this place, he needs to ask Solobek. But she doesn't stick around long, just giving him this small piece of information. She goes to make her exit, and before Billy can say anything, this is when Dane makes his way over with an armful of chips that he has won in this casino. The only issue is, these tables say no magic, and Dane, he definitely used some magic to be able to win these chips. And so this has gotten the attention of the local security inside of this establishment. And the two boys are brought before Solobek. Now, the thing about this establishment is they don't play for money. This establishment plays for souls. And the thing about these tables is they are always rigged for the house to win. So for them to be able to win, they had to use some magic. They had to cheat the system. And obviously, demons aren't going to allow this to fly. There has to be some kind of punishment for what they did. But before he decides to kill them, he wants to know who they are, why they are here, and what the whole purpose of them being here is for. And of course, they don't want to divulge any information, and Billy, he tries acting tough. He tries to put on a facade and let them know that they probably don't want to do any more than they have. And we see Billy stand up, and he shouts those words. He shouts Shazam, but nothing happens. His powers aren't coming to him, and the demons are in the room, left wondering why the heck this kid just stood up and started shouting at them. With his powers not working, Dane gives him an opportunity to run away. Sacrificing himself, Billy is able to run out of this place. As he runs out of this place, not sure where to go, not sure which direction could possibly help him. This is when he runs back into Amorina. She flags him down and ushers him inside of one of these tents. They both lay low and he is extremely grateful. Now this young female demon, she is the daughter of Solobek. But the only reason she is helping Billy is because she kind of has a thing for him. And Billy kind of has a thing for her too. Even being a demon, he thinks she's attractive, and he kind of hints at it here. We have a weird little moment going on. But Billy doesn't have time for much because he needs to get out of here. He needs to get out of here before anybody finds them. But more than anything, he needs to be able to find the Rock of Eternity. And when he tells her this, she already knows where to look. If he had said earlier that he was looking for the Rock of Eternity, she could have pointed him in the right direction. And she goes over to the side of the tent, opening up a flap. And outside of it, we find out in the dunes the Rock of Eternity just sitting there. And with him finding it, he gives her a huge hug, only to turn around and have her father standing right there before them, telling them that they both need to pay, and they are going to start with his little friend Dane. Starting with him, we see a pitchfork driven into his stomach. Billy, seeing this, he goes into an all-out rage. We see him yell Shazam, and it works this time. And as all the demons turn around, they realize that the kid is gone and there is nothing more than this man in a cape standing before them. And before they can get any kind of answers on what happened to Billy, Shazam is going in on them and taking them down. Solobek seeing this transformation, thinking that it is a cute little parlor trick, but he can also transform as well. And this is where we see him transform into a 20-story demon. And this is where the fight breaks out. Kaiju Demon versus Shazam. And with these two going toe-to-toe, throwing each other around, they go charging in at one another, and Shazam going to throw a punch only to have his powers start malfunctioning. With this malfunction, it gives our demon the opportunity to scoop him up and start crushing him in his hand. And with Shazam struggling to break free, unable to do so, unable to have his strength and speed, it looks like the demon has the upper hand. And as he says his last words before he goes and rips Shazam apart, this is where we hear a voice. We hear Dane's voice, telling the demon that he has overplayed his hand. And now he is met by Nevermore, son of the Underlord, and heir to the Dark Realm and all its hellish conquests. And we see Dane with beautiful angel wings and a fiery sword making his way towards this demon to strike him down. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. That was something I was not expecting, but I absolutely love the Edgar Allan Poe aspect of this. You know, you have Raven and now you have Nevermore. It is such an absolute great compliment to one another. And honestly, I couldn't think of any kind of better name than Nevermore. And what I really enjoy about this is that Dane is not in any way, shape, or form Red X. I think I had speculated maybe once or twice that it could possibly be him, but now after seeing this, I really don't believe that to be the case. But it is super awesome that we are getting introduced to these new characters with these new abilities, and I am really excited to see what kind of limitations or lack of limitations that Dane actually has, especially in comparison to someone like Raven. Now, this is only like a 4-issue miniseries, so we can assume that this story is going to close up relatively quickly. Now, we saw in Future State how a lot of this transpires, how all of this ends up ending. But this is a great way to really fill in those gaps of what happened along the way. Why Billy had to end up getting tied to the Rock of Eternity while Captain Marvel was working and operating in the real world, because the world could not be without Shazam, without Captain Marvel. But in doing this, it released something much, much worse. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you don't miss any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.